welcome back to Flurry Sports. It is officially draft season. You got the three boys from Lombardi Sweep. Luke Reimer in the middle, Trevor Land on the right. I'm Zach Bruner. And if you click this, you're probably a Packers fan. You can listen to us, join us Wednesday nights live, ask your questions, comments, get them read, heard, etc. YouTube.com/Flurry Sports Wednesday nights. You can listen to us Thursday, wherever you hear your podcast. But today, we're going to welcome you inside our draft room here. We're going to get the brain trust together. We're going to do a 7-round Packers mock draft on the Pro Football Focus mock draft tool, which I don't think it's too far to say this is the best thing they've ever done. This is the greatest thing they've given us. And if I had to give it my Pro Football Focus grade, it'd be a 90. And what's that mean? It means nothing, just like their grades.
I agree with you, Zach. This is a great thing. There's been a trend going on TikTok lately where people like arbitrarily rank the top 100 things in the world. If we were to rank like the top 100 things in sports, I definitely think this cuts at least the top 90.
Hey, congrats. This is a big deal. Trevor's muted. Trevor is not in the top 90.
It's not a show without Trevor speaking while muted at least once. Cricket might have something to say about that. I heard they have some things they want in the top 100.
Cricket?
I don't get the reference.
I don't either. I just wanted to throw in a cricket reference in there. No, there's nothing else there.
Oh, okay. I thought there was a controversy or something going on.
No, just shout out cricket, man.
I guess before we start, too, when's the last time the three of us have been on a show alone together? I mean, we love Janet and everything, but it's been a while since us three have been on a show together.
Not that long.
No,
wasn't it
not at all. Like
a couple weeks ago? Yeah.
Really?
Remember Janet was
actually
like
2
training
weeks ago.
kids.
Yeah. No, because she was mad about her franchise tag. Remember? It was you and me last week or 2 weeks ago, and then all of us three the week before. So Luke is tired and has some cognitive. What'd you score on the Wonderlic? I just want to know, Luke.
I never took the Wonderlic.
Nah.
I tried once, and I read the first question. I said, "Yeah, I'm not spending my time doing this."
Maybe we'll do that in the off season as well. We can all do the Wonderlic together.
That
can be a video. It's not that fun. I did it. It's not great. But anyway, we are going to do a 7-round Packers mock draft. I think the first thing we should do is sort of outline the draft needs. I think everyone would agree wide receiver is probably the top need. That seems pretty obvious, right? Is there any arguments with that?
I mean, I'll always throw my head in the ring for a tackle.
Yeah, I would say that's number 2, right tackle.
Yeah.
Then I would personally put edge rusher at 3. We need somebody else in that rotation, somebody who can get sacks. Rashawn Gary can pressure him, someone bring him down. After that, I mean, it's pretty, opinion based. I would say right guard is in there. I would say tight end is in there. Linebacker for sure, like inside linebacker. I think we definitely need some depth there.
Do you think halfback at all?
I think there's a need for it. I can't remember Aaron Jones's contract situation. It's either this year or next year is his last year on the deal, whether he gets cut or restructured. I wouldn't mind a halfback who's a special teamer, which Kylan Hill could be.
Yeah, I was just thinking, obviously Kylan Hill got injured last year, and he was playing all right when he was playing. I don't know, how long he's going to be out for, if he can even come back. I don't know. So I'm almost wondering, if halfback should be on a priority list, maybe towards the bottom, but I think that needs to be looked at.
Don't forget quarterback too, round 2, maybe even round 1. You never know.
A lot of good quarterbacks. I mean, never know. Desmond Ridder could be sitting there. Packers should trade up for him. Don't let him slip by.
I will say when I was doing the mock draft this morning, I saw Sam Howell there in the second round. I really wanted to do it.
Pro Football Focus loves them some Sam Howell.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me mad every time I see he's like projected first round. It's insane.
I know.
We'll see that in a second here. But anything else you guys think for a draft need that we should be looking at before we get in there?
I just kind of along with your running back for special teams. I mean, still in the market for a kick returner, I would say as well.
Yeah, I would say so too. I don't think we would draft somebody based on to be a specialist for that, even though we should. But yeah, that's definitely something like if there's a tiebreaker, I think we should definitely look towards somebody who has some experience returning the football. But let's get this up here. Oh, perfect. Okay, so we'll go 7 rounds. I like to adjust this just because I don't think NFL teams are going to be basing their draft off of Pro Football Focus rankings. So draft for need, I'll keep that there. Positional value, obviously, I'm not sure why it's low. Public, and I think a little bit of randomness is good because, again, that gets this off of the Pro Football Focus rankings. Anything else you think I should adjust?
Maybe the speed just a little lower, just so it's not like boom, Packers pick in 2 seconds.
Yeah, I can adjust that in there. But we should also say that we're not going to be doing trades for this one. We're going to be doing a mock draft Monday, every single Monday leading up until the draft. So there's going to be 3 other ones aside from this. And we'll be trading up and down, what we think will probably be the best thing for the Packers to do, because the Packers, with their current picks, are not going to stay where they are. But for the sake of this one, I think we will draft where the Packers actually sit. So that being said, we don't really care about who other people are drafting for today. So I think I will have it fast. But for the future ones, we'll go a little bit lower just to see what's going on. Looks like Chris Olave went early. Sam Howell went 18, Luke, so we can't take him. I'm sorry.
Shit.
I know. Okay. So decent wide receivers are off. I think Treylon Burks is probably at the top. Yeah, he's the only one who's even somewhat of a first-round value. The other ones, there's a pretty big dip after him, I would say. Okay, so I know who my choice is, but what's your guys' thoughts heading into this here? Is there anything you want to look at? Any players you have your eye on? What's your thoughts?
So like we said, obviously, receiver and tackle are probably the 2 highest. I don't, Zach, you probably know more about Bernard Raymond than I do. Walk me through why it would be a bad pick if we took him here.
I like Bernard Raymond a lot. He's like foreign exchange student from Austria. He's kind of the whole story of started football late, started as a tight end, turned tackle. He's really good, really athletic. My thing with him, and it's unfortunate, my biggest gripe with him is the one thing he can't change, and that his arms are like abnormally short. They're like scarily short. They're like in the 10th percentile. So they're like extremely short, which is not good for an offensive tackle. Obviously, he's full extension on a guy. The other, like quite literally, the defensive lineman might have 2-3 inches on him. So he's not going to be able to get his hands off of anybody, which means he really can't play on the right because that means the skill set's kind of only built for pass protection. So you can't really be a right tackle. So I think he has to be a left tackle in the NFL. And obviously that's not the need for the Packers.
Fair. And I think did I read somewhere that he has a wrestling background too? I know that
I think so.
It kind of helps to translate to football a little bit, but
yeah, also lettered in wrestling in high school. But yeah, he's MVP in track, probably for shot put, but I'm not going to try to assume. but that's fine, I guess. But yeah, he's a really good player. I'm not trying to say he's a bad player.
Right.
If I had to pick a tackle, Trevor Penning might be my favorite offensive lineman in the draft. It's not coming up, but this is a guy, like everything I talked about. Man, that's really delayed on there. Okay, I'm not on that screen anymore for people staring at a blank Trevor Penning screen, but whatever. He is one of the meanest motherfuckers in this entire draft. Okay, what's going on? This is like so delayed. Okay. He's extremely mean. He's really tough. He's going out for blood basically every fucking play. He's so balls to the wall that he gets penalties sometimes, but that's something that can be refined. He is a bulldozer. He's going to hurt people. He's the dude. I fucking love myself some Trevor Penning. I'm not sure if it says anything.
He's a dog.
Here. I mean, yeah, He is a dog, dude. And he's 6'7", just a fucking monster. I mean, what everyone's going to say about him and what the Packers are going to say about him, because this is something they value for whatever reason. He played at UNI, so you can say, oh, level of competition wasn't super high. But he's like one of those guys, like, do you remember the clip of Marshawn Lynch playing against high schoolers?
Mm-hmm.
That's what his tape is. Like, it's not like, oh, he was the best player on the field. It was like, this guy doesn't belong here. Why is he here? He's insane. So, like, if we're taking offensive line first, I think that's where I would go. But what's your
Especially,
guys' thoughts?
like you said, like he's a dog. You know, he wants to get after people. With the Packers, you know, their lack of, I guess, great receiving weapons right now. That makes me lead to believe that, you know, and, you know, maybe running the ball is going to be the key option. And that's what it's kind of been the last couple of years, right? You know, trying to establish a run right away. If you can get a dog out pushing, you know, defensive ends out of the way and then getting up to a linebacker, that would be huge, especially, you know, I always say it, but in cold weather. Um, Dogs like to play in cold weather, and to get some movement on the offensive line seems big to me.
Yeah. Like, if in an ideal world, if you could think of Elton Jenkins at left guard, Josh Myers at center, you move Runyon over to right guard, Penning at right tackle, and then you have Mercedes Lewis there.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately, that's scary. Like, it could be that AJ Dillon just running forward. Like that, I don't know how you stop it. I really don't. It would be scary. Trevor, do you have any thoughts?
Just, you know, if you have a guy with, like you said, super short arms, that's something you can't change. Level of competition, I mean, that's something you can't exactly change either, but, you know,
Yeah.
it's not like having short arms. Like, it's not something that can be molded or, you know, will affect him the whole career. So, you know, if I have to go between, you know, basically stunted growth and a guy who just seems kind of out of place, I'm taking Trevor Penning. Especially, we saw Dan Arnold, right? He was from D3. He didn't belong there. So might as well take this guy in an FCS school.
Basically, the Trevor Penning of Northern, or the Dan Arnold of Northern Iowa, I would say. So, yeah, we'll go him. Obviously, Packers pick again right away, so we'll see what's there.
Zach, is that you said that you know who you would pick? Is that who you would have picked?
Trevor Penning?
Yeah.
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 I love him. There's no way he would have lasted. But now we're in an interesting situation. I don't think there's another, like, I like Sky Moore a lot. He's a good slot receiver. I'm not sure if I'd take him in the first. Like, if the Packers had this draft board right now, I would assume they'd try to trade back to take somebody. Like, I think every person we take is kind of a reach.
That's what I was going to say too. Like, it's going to be like this upcoming fantasy year. Like, if you're in a place where you have like Christian McCaffrey and those guys, like, I just rather trade down than have to look at the end of the season that, oh man, I took this guy, you know, wherever I did.
Yeah, I completely agree. This is for sure a reach. I like Jalen Peter because he's a good slot corner, but apparently the Packers are going slot by committee, so they won't take him. Zion Johnson, I mean, he's like a drag and drop guard. I think he's probably one of the most complete interior offensive linemen in the draft. I think he's really good. I love Leo, but I think that's way too early for Leo. If we go edge, I like Nick Bonito. He's like strictly a speed rusher. So do you want to take someone in the first round who's kind of handcuffed already? I don't know. Arnold Ebikidi. Is that the guy you were talking about or a couple times ago, Trevor? Or no?
I don't think so.
Okay, there's somebody you brought up with obscure name. I can't remember. He's a good edge rusher. I like him probably as the best edge rusher available if we go that route. He's injured, but he's good. I don't know. What's your guys' thoughts position-wise you would want to go after here?
So, I mean, like you said, there's probably not a position the Packers are going to be in, right? You trade these picks, whatever. It makes sense to go wide receiver, like you said. The best, obviously, according to PFF, the best one available is Sky Moore. Is it a reach? Probably. And that makes me worried. I don't know because I think if this was the board, I would rather go edge than reach on a receiver.
I think I agree. What's your thoughts, Trevor?
I would agree too. Otherwise, if I was looking at this pick, I like Jahan Dotson. Obviously, he was taken at 27, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I don't think he's exactly a first round talent. I think he's kind of near the border. But if I'm going to reach on one wide receiver, it would probably be him. So if he was available, great. But without that, you'd have to go edge.
So, what's your thoughts on which edge you would want to go after here?
It's going to be a stupid logic. I don't trust Oklahoma defenders. I really don't. I don't trust really any Big 12 defensive players. So I'd lean towards Bikide, right, of Penn State. Um, I don't know. It's just like taking a guy from Iowa or Northwestern over, Sam Houston State. It just makes sense. Like, you know what you're going to get to some level at least.
Yeah. I would say, like, I like Benito. Again, his whole thing, like, stuff you can't change. He's small and he's not a run stopper. So, like, if he's on the field during run snaps, he's done. Like, he's going to be a liability. But he's a speed rusher. So, if you're talking about if you want a rusher that can complement maybe a Rashawn Gary on those passing snaps, I think he'd be great for that. But do you want to take a first round pick who is a rotational package player, or do you want to take someone who can be a 3-down guy? Because he's never going to be a 3-down guy, in my opinion. So again, I would go Ibikiti personally. Yeah,
and that's what makes it so interesting because first round picks, they should be able to you plug them in, they should be able to play right away, right? With the Packers having 2 first round picks and kind of being still in a position to make a playoff run. It's kind of a weird spot that I'm almost wondering, if there's no trades, that the Packers might have to grab someone like, a rotational piece late in the first round. Not that people are going to like it. It's just, it's a good problem to have, I should say.
For sure. And like, in my opinion, first round picks, you need to get better.
Yeah.
Like, you need to get better immediately. Both guys make you better immediately. It's not like you're taking a quarterback that hopefully in 4 years can throw a ball into a net, which is what we've done in the past. Like, both of these guys will play this year, will be good, will make plays. But yeah, are we in agreement that we lean towards the Penn State guy? And let's hope for some reason he has a little bit of Micah Parsons in him.
I like it.
Okay. Then we got 2 second-round picks coming up as well. Obviously, we need to look towards wide receiver. Sky Moore taking 1 before us. Great. That's good. Okay. All the defenders are still there that we were basically looking at. Trey McBride's a stud. He's very good. Let's look at wide receivers, though. If you guys are unfamiliar with Jalen Tolbert at all, or Tolbert, this is Marquez Valdez-Scantling. They are the exact same player. I usually don't like pro comparisons, but this is to a T. I think they're the same exact player. Like, they're big. They got area catch radius, and they are fast. They're a field stretcher. That's all he's going to do. And in my opinion, if he's there at like 59, I can't imagine the Packers pass up on him.
I was going to say, it feels pretty easy to. It's kind of just a replace Marquez Valdez-Scantling. You don't really need to, change an offense or anything like that, right?
Right. And I feel like they had their eyes on. I know they know who this guy is, but I feel like they had their eyes on this guy and had a number in mind for Marquez and was like, hey, if you don't want this exact number, we know who is going to replace you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Christian Watson's kind of like a pro day combine MVP. Like, he has all the measurables. He's like a freak. Khalil Shakir, absolute stud at slot receiver. He's awesome. I really like Khalil Shakir at slot. John Mechie from Alabama. He's like one of the most pro-ready wide receivers definitely available, I would say. He's insane route running. So, I mean, all these guys have stuff that are useful.
Here's a question for both of you guys. Obviously, with the depleted receiving core that we have right now, what if you could pick? You had to pick one. What would be more important to you, to get an outside guy or a slot guy?
I mean, the one thing we for sure don't have is an outside guy.
Right.
Like you could argue we have a slot guy with Cobb if healthy, and I guess Amari Rodgers, that's the only thing he can play. So if he progresses in the offseason, maybe he's that. He's for sure not an outside guy.
Right.
So I guess it would be outside, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. So I think that it makes more sense to grab an outside guy here rather than a guy that, is going to split snaps with Randall Cobb in the slot.
I agree. I will say I bet Jalen Tolbert's available there. So if we want to pass up and like risk it a little bit, is there a different position you want to go for, or do you just want to take your guy now?
I'd say take him now. I don't see, like, you can go offensive line or edge rusher again, like you could, but that doesn't, right? Breece Hall, yeah. I mean, at running back, I want to understand that pick. And the deeper you go into the draft, like the Packers need wide receivers badly. If you don't get your guy here, now you're waiting to hopefully hit in the third round. We know how that works for the Packers. So, I think in these instances, reaching makes sense, especially since you're in the second.
In terms of offensive linemen, if we ended up doing that, if the Packers did that, I really like Abraham Lucas. I think he's a stud. Kellen Deach, I think, is a stud. Dylan Parham is, again, I think he's a day one starter at right guard. He's freakishly athletic. The thing with him, he's like 285. He is really tiny. So, like, I bet his year 2 is way better than his year 1 because he's going to pack on that weight. But if he told me he's the best offensive lineman from this entire draft, that wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, I wouldn't go them, I don't think. So just take our guy, you think? Or what? Yeah.
Trevor's logic made sense to me.
Cool. Let's go Tolbert. And I was kind of hoping Trey McBride would drop. Okay. Now, same guys are basically here. Nick Bonito's still there again. Speed rusher. Someone say first round talent. So, I mean, it's kind of a bargain to have him here. Brian Asamoah is from Oklahoma. They kind of all have the same characteristics. He's undersized, extremely quick, kind of complements Devondre Campbell's skill set. Like he's a good coverage linebacker, but he's like 6 foot. He's really small. And then there's everybody else here. What's your thoughts on position that you would want to go after?
Is this a spot where maybe you can take a flyer and see if something works out?
I don't mind it. I think all these guys for sure have like, honestly, if we already took an edge rusher, but like the ultimate flyer here out of this group, I would probably say is Drake Jackson. He got hurt like towards the end of last year. I don't know if he's going to be available right away, but he was really, really good when available. So like if we're talking about the ultimate flyer, it's probably him.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
I don't either. Otherwise, one of the top slot receivers is still there. John Mechie is really good. He's really, really good. He'll be there later. I like Zach Tom too. Trevor, what's your thoughts?
Personally, I think depending on how the draft goes, I think about John Mechie. I like him a lot. And I think like you already got an edge. I like Drake Jackson too, but you already got an edge. You need wide receivers like now. Like if you get 2 edges, like that's great, but wide receiver is bigger need than edge. So at this point, I'd probably reach on like a Mechie, somebody like that. But obviously, I'm assuming, when did Jameson Williams go in this draft? I know he's long gone, but
like 16-ish, I think.
Because didn't John Mechie have a big injury too, if I'm remembering correctly? Wasn't it just earlier in the season? Or is that somebody else?
I believe he missed games. I'm not sure if it says anything. ACL tear in the SEC championship. But he's a safe bet when healthy, which is the stupidest line I've ever heard. Like, you don't know. Like, he hasn't recovered yet. But
yeah, right there's a flyer.
True. True. Yeah, I like him a lot. He's a really good player.
Yeah.
Let's take him.
Never hurts to have an Alabama guy on the team either.
It does not. It does not. Okay, third round, pick 92. Kellen Deach is there. Good tackle. Zach Tom. He's only a left tackle, but he is really good.
I'd like to say something real quick. The Bengals for their needs, PFF says it's only offensive line. I feel like they need more than just offensive line help.
Yeah, they do. Maybe like secondary, maybe linebacker. But yeah, whatever they want to say, that's fine. They put too many for the Lions. What are you doing? Relax.
Yeah, they got the first one wrong too.
Yeah, they don't need a quarterback. Okay, they got Tim Boyle. Here. This is an interesting group of players, actually. There's no one that's really jumping out to me as like, oh, yes, he fell. I really like Grant Calcaterra, but this is way too early for him.
So, I guess we didn't really bring this up. Is cornerback needed at all just for depth?
Yeah. I mean, we got the same group back minus Shannon Sullivan and Kevin King.
And those are two guys
want to draft. I want to draft a slot corner, but the Packers clearly have what they have. They have a scenario in mind of what they want, and that's not a true slot corner. But I'm not against taking a corner. I'm not familiar with Martin Emerson at all, if I'm being honest. I mean, his stats here are good. He is very clearly an outside corner. He has a couple of years of success. I don't hate it. Like, he's for sure a depth guy.
Yeah.
I think in the third round, with the way the Packers picks have gone, you got to go balls to the wall this pick. Like, just go nuts. Like, Jesus. You might... Holy shit. 165 at 6'1". Holy smokes, that is light.
He's speedy. He's fine.
That's one way to put underweight, but yeah.
165 is not that bad for a corner. I mean, this guy's heavy at 30 pounds heavy. He's slow. Okay, we'll go with Martin Emerson here. Good enough for me. Fourth round. We got 2 picks in this round. We got a compensatory pick.
How many picks are the Packers? By the way, 12?
A lot. By the way, if that last pick doesn't work out, it kind of follows the third round trend for the Packers anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's kind of
Grant Calcaterra. Don't even question it. Just click the button.
Do you know about this guy?
Yes, I've heard of him. And also, Chris Paul is there. So if you need somebody that's going to hurt the other team, hit up Chris Paul. But Grant Calcaterra. I don't think you heard me. I said hit the button.
Okay, what do you know about him?
I know I've seen some of his game clip. I mean, he plays at SMU, so that isn't really great because it's SMU. But if I've heard about a tight end, it's usually because they're pretty good, because I don't pay attention to tight ends at all, especially anybody they play in the American and football too, right?
I'll give you the skinny on him. He started at Oklahoma, was extremely good, was one of the best tight ends in the country, suffered a bunch of concussions, retired. Then he came back to play at SMU. So he's kind of an older redshirt senior, I believe. But quite literally, if he gets concussed again, he might be done forever. So, like, if we are drafting to play for this year, which I'm totally on board for, and the Packers should be as well, but they probably won't be. I mean, getting Grant Calcaterra, if we're saying his name correctly, I apologize. He is immediately the best receiving tight end on the roster. His skill set is very clearly better than Robert Tonyan's. But, if you're telling me if he's playing in 2 years, I'll be happy, because I'm not expecting that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Tell me why I shouldn't like Lakita Smith.
I don't know much about this guy. Let's see if it says anything. I haven't looked at this guy at all yet. Oh, play left guard. That doesn't really matter. Consistent. Yeah. I mean, he only gave up 2 sacks this past year. He barely gives up hurries, but again, he plays in the ACC, so that doesn't really mean anything. Yeah, I don't know anything about this guy, to be honest.
That would probably obviously be a depth pick again.
Yeah, for sure.
Rather than an instant starter.
I mean, if you're telling me he's not better than Royce Newman, then I would say don't draft him. Zach Tom, I think, he's the most athletic offensive lineman in the entire draft. Like, he could be the replacement for David Bakhtiari in 3 years, but he is not going to start this year, And he's not a right tackle, for sure. He's for sure at left. But yeah, I think we should. Are we in agreement to go with this guy and risk it and put like 3 helmets on him, basically?
Just give him bubble wrapped helmet. Like, how hard is it? Just give him a giant helmet.
Just the
thing that we talk about a lot too with Aaron Rodgers is you do not need guys to develop. You just need guys who can come in and can play. Whether however long Calcaterra plays, it seems likely he makes an impact right away.
And if we get like 5-6 games out of him, that's when Tunyon should come back. So that's all we need here. Again, just a couple picks down the road. So same basic people. Flott, who is, hopefully gaining weight right now. He's a really good slot corner if we wanted to go that route. Like I said, Zach Tom, he's a great guy to have in the rotation, but he would probably be viewed by the Packers as the third left tackle. So do you want that? Yes or no? I mean, he's very clearly going to be better than Dijman. But
here's a question. How much does age matter to you guys in a draft?
Depends on the position.
Okay.
Overall, like, I don't want like a 25-year-old rookie, like, I don't know, Taysom Hill or somebody like that who comes in off their Mormon, I was gonna say business trip, missionary trip. Yeah, I don't really want that for like some positions, but like quarterback, I guess if it's a little bit older, I don't care. If it's offensive lineman, I don't really care. I don't want a wide receiver, I don't think.
Yeah.
It's too early for. Is it too early for Jack Sanborn? Yeah, it is. I like him a lot.
Did that guy at LSU? I doubt it, but did he play any special teams? Because a cornerback at LSU, that already kind of raises the flags for round 4, green flags.
It won't say it on here, so I don't know. I did see some of his defensive tape, and I like him, but has he played special teams? I don't know, but he's going to have to if we draft him.
I mean, I feel like round 4, late round 4 cornerback, and again, a guy from LSU. I'd assume at one point he went against Joe Burrow and some decent quarterbacks in practice. Now, that's not what you need to be good, but I feel like if you're kind of starting to hit the reach point, just seeing what can stick, I feel like he's a pretty good bet to stick.
I'm cool with that. My only other look was going to be to Noah Ellis, the guy from Idaho, just because he's a defensive lineman who has a lot of potatoes, I'm sure.
And they play in a cool dome.
Do that. Good for them. We'll go with Flott.
Speaking of potatoes, did I ever ask you guys this? What's your favorite way that a potato is prepared?
I can tell you my least favorite way. That's hash browns. I don't like hash browns.
Interesting.
It depends. Like, are we talking like the soft ones you get at restaurants or like McDonald's hash browns?
I also don't like baked potato.
Really?
Yeah, not about it.
I'm not a fan of sweet potatoes. Is my least favorite.
I don't think you can prepare a potato to be a sweet potato.
It's pretty good if you have brown sugar on it. I think it's pretty decent.
I'd love sweet potatoes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's your favorite way to prepare a potato, and sweets is not the answer.
I should have said the best variation of a potato.
Okay, well, it's way different. I'll take an Idaho Gold. How about that?
No, the correct answer is waffle fries.
No,
well, you just switched it again.
unless they're made correctly. Waffle fries are usually like not crispy, and then they're just garbage. It's just like eating hash browns. Like, what am I doing here?
This is kind of the inside look at a day 3 draft room. So
that's what the Packers have done in round 3 for the last 10 years.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, round 5. I will say Sterling Weatherford, he's a big safety. I think he could be a really good addition for special teams, and he's a good rotational guy. To your point, though, Chris Paul will be sort of a vigilante of sorts, attacking anybody we choose. We'll never win anything, but he'll be in the conversation.
He'll make the guys around him better.
Good.
Tell me what fits better with the Packers than getting to the brink of success and then falling flat on your face. If that's not a Packer player, I don't know what is.
I like Derek Deese from San Jose State, and I will make all the Deese nuts jokes, and I would love that.
Agreed, man.
Those never get old for me.
You can also call him Double D's.
True. See, there's a lot of possibilities. Do we reach for another tight end? That would be our 5th tight end on the roster, assuming Daphne gets cut. So, I don't know how many we need.
Tell me, what do you guys think of defensive tackle here?
I don't mind it. Tito Ogbania. We do need defensive line depth still, even with Jaron Reed. This guy's been graded consistently, I guess.
Didn't Kenny Clark come from UCLA too?
Yeah.
So might as well.
I don't hate that he's 6'4", 320, Otito.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I know Tyson Anderson too for some reason. I don't think I watched this tape. For some reason I know that name. Okay, let's go Otito. Our other mock drafts will be more research, just so people watching know. We have no round 6 pick. We'll have 3 in the 7th. Okay. This is where we should start.
Yes.
Ooh, we should take this guy, right?
Yep.
Fast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Aw, I wanted the punter.
No, for whatever reason we signed O'Donnell, which possibly might be the worst signing of the fucking offseason.
CJ Verdell. What do you think about that one, Luke? I know you're in Oregon. You like Oregon running back, special teams maybe? I don't know how fast he is. I've just heard the name a lot.
I know nothing about him, but if he can play special teams, hell yeah. If he can return a kick.
Zach, you're shaking your head. Why is that?
Because he doesn't give us a different skill set. He's not a receiving back. So if I chose a running back for special teams, there's no doubt about it. I would choose Abram Smith, and Pro Football Focus will destroy us on this pick probably. So we could probably wait. He played linebacker 2 years ago, played running back last year. If you're telling me a running back linebacker is going to play special teams for us, I'll fucking take it. You know what I mean?
What is Baylor doing in their coaching? Linebacker to halfback? That doesn't make a lot of sense.
Have you ever looked at every Wisconsin running back? They've always been former linebackers. And every linebacker's been a former running back. Leo Chenell was a former running back at Grantsburg, and he was
but that's
very
the other
hard
way.
to bring down.
That's running back to linebacker.
Well, both ways.
It's like a rectangle is a square, rectangle isn't a square, but a square is a rectangle.
All squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares.
I think that could be debated.
Yo, get our boy Jack Cohn.
Hey, what about my guy from Baylor who ran the 4.22 or 4.21 40, whatever that was?
We just took him.
Did we?
Yeah,
that was him.
Thornton.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was somebody else.
Oh, no, we just got him. Don't worry about it.
All right.
Don't worry about it, Goody. Go back to bed. I'm not sure who I am in this scenario then, but okay. Do we want running back now? We have 3 7th-round picks, right? 2 more left. Sorry.
Does it make a difference?
Wait a little bit, probably.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, whoever we take is probably going to be there on the next one, so it doesn't really matter. But what's the other position we would want? I'm totally for punter, but if we release O'Donnell, that's just going to piss me off. I'm fine with having a rookie punter. I don't know why we signed O'Donnell, who's not good.
Only to hold. That's his only job. All he does is run out there to hold, and then sits on the bench.
Imagine spending 2 roster spots on 2 punters for one just to hold.
Jesus.
That would be incredible, honestly. You'd have to respect it. Kind of like if the Packers drafted a quarterback in the first 2 rounds again.
Right.
How big is this guy? 6'4".
Ooh.
Damn, from Nicholls State? He's a
He had
colonel?
good stats, but he's Nicholls State.
Hey, Jack Cohen.
Yeah, we really need him.
You
My
think
worry
he
about
beat out
drafting
Jordan
Jack
Love?
Cohen is if we draft Jack Cohen, then Phil Simms is going to come sniffing around. I don't want Phil Simms anymore.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah. Darion Butler, like mentally and strength-wise, has everything needed to be a really good linebacker in the NFL, but then he's undersized and not fast. So,
ooh, yikes.
So he's me again.
Yeah, he truly is. Like, I think he could be a really good special teams guy, and it's unfortunate that he's not a little bit faster because he'd for sure be better than like Ty Summers. And Darion Butler's such a good football name, but I don't know.
How big is he? You said he was undersized.
He's 6 foot, 225.
Oh.
Slow.
He's bigger than McDuffie, at least.
True.
Did we get a linebacker already?
I don't think so.
I feel like maybe not. Do we want to go with him and then a running back?
Yeah. And then trade up for a punter, Mr. Relevant. I know we're not trading this, but
Tyler Goodson taken. Yeah, so all of them are still here. If you want to go with a more prototypical running back, I think probably Verdell. But then special teams guy, I would say Abram Smith is for sure a better special teams guy.
I would say that
So
would
up
be
to you guys.
I would say that would be more needed over a normal set running back who can play because we have 2 of those already.
although I would want a running back with the name of Snoop, I have to agree.
That is a good point. Okay, we'll take him. Let's see what we're graded because this is clearly all that's important about. What's our Pro Football Focus grade?
Probably a C.
B+.
B. Mechie, they gave us a C-, so I don't care. Like, whatever you want to. If that's what's bringing us down, then fine.
Look at
Especially late second. How is that a C-?
He's probably an early third round would be my guess is what he actually will go for. But, whatever.
How do they calculate these grades?
That's a great question.
I think it's for number and when you took him. So like Tyquan Thornton is number 181 overall, but we took him at 228.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I could see, really.
I wonder if it probably doesn't take it into account like position need or anything, does it?
Probably not. I can't imagine it does. But yeah, so if the Packers came away with 3 wide receiver, Thornton's probably more of a project than an actual player this year, but he's fast. Starting tackle, we got a rotational edge guy, possibly a starting tight end, a corner who's certainly a rotational guy, a couple of them. Like, I wouldn't be mad at this draft class.
I like it.
Oh, I guess let us know in the comments. This is where everyone else actually went. Thibodeau went 3rd overall. Sam Howell went 18th overall. Chabo went 19th.
Too? Am I missing something? I didn't think he was that high up.
Oh, yeah. He's very good.
I thought he would have been like 5th or something.
Where did Chris Olave go?
14th. That's just what the Ravens need. They need another fast guy who can run straight. So that's a really good one.
Quarterback will overthrow him.
Yeah, interesting picks here.
Kenny Pickett, baby, quarterback of the future for the Detroit Lions. That just has bust written all over it if he goes to Detroit.
Yep.
I like it. I think it'd be good.
Traylon Burks to the Cowboys, baby. Let's go.
Jesus. Yeah, that actually makes sense. If you're watching on YouTube, let us know what you thought of this mock draft. Who do you think the Packers should draft in the first round? Do you think we should trade up? Do you think we should use both of our 2 picks where they are? Let us know. We will be back every single Monday before the draft. So we got 3 more mock draft Mondays. Maybe next time we'll get a little bit crazier and do some trades, because I think we're all in agreement that like that second first-round pick, we definitely didn't want to take somebody there. We would much rather trade down. But yeah, this was Flurry Sports. See you again. Bye.
Peace.